Lauren Vay's boots clanged against the metal floor of the abandoned space station, each step echoing through the empty corridors. The air smelled of burned circuits and stale coolant. He had come for scraps, just another day surviving on the edge of the galaxy, but tonight something felt off. A soft, whimpering sound drew his attention, a high-pitched cry that made him freeze. He crouched near a smashed cargo bay door, peering inside. There, huddled against a pile of torn crates, was a small creature unlike anything he had ever seen. Its scales were white as moonlight, almost glowing in the dim emergency lights. Tiny wings trembled against its body, and eyes the color of violet stars stared up at him, wide with fear. The hatchling's breath came in short, anxious gasps. Before he could react, a sharp alarm cut through the station, red lights flashing as automated defense drones whirred to life. Lauren cursed under his breath. The station's old security systems had been set to neutralize any moving life forms. Now both he and the hatchling were targets. Without thinking, Lauren grabbed a loose metal panel and swung it at the nearest drone. Sparks flew as it ricocheted, short-circuiting its circuits. The hatchling squealed, panicked by the sudden noise. Lauren reached for it, murmuring in a low, steady voice. "It's okay. I've got you. Just stay calm." The hatchling hesitated, then let him scoop it into his arms, shivering against his chest. The drones moved faster now, their sensors locking onto him. Lauren sprinted down the corridor, ducking under broken piping, leaping over a gap where the floor had crumbled. Every second counted. One wrong move and the hatchling, or he, would be destroyed. As he turned a corner, a shadow flickered across the shattered viewport of the station. A massive, dark shape glided past in silence, far too big to belong to any ordinary creature. Lauren's heart pounded. He caught a glimpse of enormous, leathery wings, and the feeling of being watched crawled down his spine. The hatchling stiffened, wings flaring slightly, sensing something he could not yet understand. Lauren ducked into a maintenance shaft, pressing himself against the wall as the drones passed. He exhaled, trying to steady his racing heart. "You're safe, for now," he whispered to the hatchling, who nuzzled against his neck. The creature made a soft, melodic sound that was almost like a purr. It calmed him as much as he calmed it. But calm didn't last. A sudden vibration shook the floor, a distant roar, low and deep, echoing through the station. The hatchling stiffened again, its violet eyes widening with terror. Lauren looked toward the source. There was a shadow moving across the far side of the cargo bay, enormous claws scraping against metal, wings brushing the walls. This was no ordinary predator. He realized with a shock that the shadow was circling him, watching. He had no weapons that could reach such a giant. Every instinct told him to run, but the hatchling in his arms couldn't survive another chase. He had to act, and fast. Lauren's eyes scanned the shaft. A loose ladder led to an upper catwalk. Without hesitation he climbed, dragging the hatchling with him. Sparks flew from damaged panels as the shadow moved below, and he could hear the heavy, deliberate thuds of enormous claws striking the floor. Every movement was calculated, deliberate. This creature was intelligent, more than intelligent. Dangerous. At the top, Lauren found a service hatch leading to the outer maintenance deck. He shoved it open and tumbled out into the cold vacuum of space, clinging to the hatchling. The windless void pressed against him, and he had only a moment to get inside his small shuttle docked nearby. The hatchling let out a sharp cry, almost a warning. Lauren froze, heart in his throat. From the viewport of the station he saw it, its eyes glowing faintly in the darkness, staring straight at him. And then something impossible happened. The shadow shifted, revealing a massive, armored head, scales glinting like dark metal. It tilted, regarding him, and let out a sound that made Lauren's blood run cold. It was not just a beast, it was a guardian. Or a hunter. Lauren's mind raced. He had no choice. He had to get the hatchling to safety. He sprinted across the outer deck, ignoring the thin, cold vacuum seeping through gaps in his suit. Every step brought him closer to the shuttle. Every second he could feel the weight of those violet eyes burning into him. The shadow followed, moving with terrifying grace, wings brushing the hull, claws scraping like knives. He reached the shuttle, yanking open the hatch. The hatchling wriggled, almost as if it understood the danger. Lauren strapped it into the passenger seat, heart hammering. As he fired up the engines, the shadow lashed out, claw catching the hull, leaving deep gouges in the metal. Lauren's breath caught. He punched the thrusters, and the shuttle jolted, lifting off just as the shadow recoiled, wings folding with a hiss of anger. Inside, the hatchling trembled against him, tiny heart beating rapidly, but its eyes glimmered with something else now, a spark of trust. Lauren ran a hand along its back, murmuring, "We made it, but we're not safe yet." He glanced back at the retreating station. The shadow lingered a moment longer, massive wings stretched against the stars, then vanished into the void. Lauren knew this was only the beginning. Whoever, or whatever, that creature was, it wasn't finished with them. And the hatchling, it wasn't just a fragile little animal. There was something extraordinary about it, something that could change everything. As the shuttle slipped into the darkness of space, a soft glow pulsed from the hatchling's scales, faintly illuminating Lauren's worried face. He realized, with a mix of awe and dread, that he had just stumbled into something far bigger than himself, and far more dangerous than anything he had ever faced. A sudden alert beeped in the shuttle. An unknown energy signature was approaching fast. Lauren's stomach dropped. Whoever, or whatever, was coming. They weren't just curious. They were hunting. Lauren pressed the hatchling closer to his chest as the shuttle's engines roared, slicing through the void. The soft glow of its scales illuminated the cramped cockpit, flickering like a tiny star against the dark metal. He could feel its tiny heartbeat racing, matching his own. Somewhere out there, the shadow of that massive dragon-like creature still lurked, and he knew it was only a matter of time before it followed. He tried to keep his mind clear, scanning the shuttle's controls. The station's defense systems had been a warning. If the shadow had been a hunter, others might be tracking them too. He had to keep moving or the hatchling would not survive. Hours passed in tense silence, punctuated by the occasional whimper from the hatchling. Lauren tried to offer it some of the nutrient paste he carried, but the creature recoiled, hissing softly. Its wings flared, trembling as if rejecting anything unfamiliar. Lauren frowned. "It's okay, little one. I'm not going to hurt you." He realized feeding it meant more than offering food, it was trust. Every meal was a gamble and every refusal felt like failure. The first real challenge came when he approached a small asteroid cluster. He needed to dock at a nearby salvage outpost, but pirates often used these clusters for ambushes. The hatchling's scales pulsed faintly, reacting to something he could not yet detect. He tightened his grip, heart pounding. "Hang on. We'll make it." The shuttle dropped toward the outpost, engines trembling. Lauren could see small craft darting between asteroids, scanning for targets. A patrol drone zeroed in on him. He had seconds to act. Calculating the trajectory, he veered sharply, using the asteroid's shadow as cover. The hatchling squeaked, startled by the sudden maneuver, but didn't fight back. Lauren exhaled. Small victory, he thought. He had bought them time. Docking at the outpost was tense. Guards eyed him suspiciously, and the station's docking AI scanned his shuttle for weapons and contraband. The hatchling's violet eyes glimmered nervously, wings twitching against his chest. Lauren whispered soothingly, "Almost there. Stay calm." Inside the outpost, Lauren needed supplies for the hatchling. He couldn't just feed it scraps. It required precise nourishment, and any mistake could weaken it. He moved quickly, gathering nutrient packs and scavenge tools, all while keeping one eye on the shadows around him. Something about the hatchling's reactions told him it could sense more than he realized. A sudden vibration shook the floor, a low hum that made both of them freeze. The hatchling hissed, curling against him. Lauren's stomach sank. He had heard that hum before in the station. Something massive, something alive was nearby. His eyes darted to the viewport. A dark shape passed silently between the asteroids, enormous wings stretching across the void. The hatchling flinched violently, emitting a sound that cut through Lauren's chest like a knife. Lauren understood instinctively, it was scanning them, reading them. Not just a predator but a parent. The hatchling's reaction confirmed it. Whoever it was connected to the creature in his arms, and he had no way to communicate with it. He gritted his teeth. "We survived together," he muttered. Every choice from here on mattered. One wrong move and they'd both be dead. He set up a temporary habitat in the shuttle bay, layering soft materials to cushion the hatchling and arranging nutrients in precise portions. It hesitated at first, but hunger eventually overcame fear. Lauren watched with quiet triumph as the hatchling nibbled, its body relaxing slightly. A small win, but fleeting. He knew danger was never far behind. The first real test came when the outpost's security alarm blared. Lauren's pulse shot up. Pirates had detected the unusual energy signatures radiating from the hatchling. They were closing in fast, armed and merciless. He couldn't fight them head-on. With quick thinking, he activated the shuttle's stealth drive, masking the hatchling's energy pulses just enough to slip past the outer sensors. The shuttle glided silently through the asteroid field, hearts racing, each second a victory over death. During the flight, Lauren studied the hatchling more closely. Its scales responded to distant energy waves, pulsing when certain signals hit the sensors. He realized this wasn't just a creature, it was connected to something greater, something cosmic. The realization both thrilled and terrified him. He had stumbled into a mystery far larger than he could understand, and he alone was responsible for protecting it. As they slipped beyond the asteroid cluster, Lauren allowed himself a moment to breathe. The hatchling rested against his chest, wings folded, eyes half closed. The faint glow of its scales cast a serene light in the cockpit. Lauren's hands shook slightly as he stroked its back. "You're safe for now," he whispered. But deep down he knew that safety was temporary. The shadow he had glimpsed before, the parent of this small creature, would not wait. Suddenly, a sharp alarm rang in the shuttle. An unknown ship was approaching at high speed, its signature massive and alien. Lauren's heart thudded in his chest. He knew without a doubt, this was no ordinary pursuer. The hatchling stirred violently, emitting a high melodic shriek that vibrated through the cockpit. Lauren gritted his teeth. He had to act fast. He tightened his grip, scanning the control panel for escape routes. The asteroid cluster behind him offered cover, but only if he maneuvered perfectly. One wrong move and the pursuing ship could obliterate them. Lauren's mind raced, calculating angles, velocities, every possible scenario. The hatchling whimpered, sensing his tension, and curled tighter against him. A shadow passed across the viewport. For a split second Lauren saw it, a massive, armored head, eyes like molten stars, wings casting a terrifying shadow across the void. The hatchling flinched violently. Lauren's stomach dropped. The hunter had arrived. And now their survival depended on him making a choice faster than fear itself. Lauren gritted his teeth as the massive alien ship bore down on them. Its hull shimmered with scales like blackened metal, glinting against the cold void. He felt the hatchling stiffen in his arms, wings flaring defensively, tiny claws digging into his jacket. He knew instinctively, this was no ordinary predator. It was the parent, the Dragon King he had glimpsed at the station. And it was here to claim its offspring. The shuttle shuddered as the ship released a scanning pulse. Every sensor in the cockpit lit up red. Lauren's mind raced, searching for options. There was no way he could fight it directly, the creature was too large, too fast, too powerful. He had only one chance, to outthink it. He tapped into every scrap of his training, every lesson from surviving countless scrapes in hostile systems. "Stay calm," he whispered to the hatchling, whose violet eyes glimmered with intelligence he had never seen in any animal before. It chirped softly, almost as if understanding him. Lauren realized then that the bond they had formed wasn't just emotional, it was their only weapon. He triggered the shuttle's stealth protocol, masking the hatchling's energy signature as best he could. The Dragon King's massive sensors would detect any sudden spikes, but the smaller pulses could slip through if timed precisely. Lauren felt a surge of hope. This gamble might give them a momentary edge. The alien ship banked, enormous wings slicing through the void, and emitted a low, resonant roar. Lauren flinched. The sound reverberated through the shuttle, rattling panels and shaking the hatchling against his chest. He held on tightly, murmuring soothingly, "I've got you. We'll get through this." He maneuvered the shuttle into a nearby asteroid field, weaving between jagged rocks. Every motion had to be precise. One collision could spell disaster. The Dragon King followed, gliding effortlessly through the rocks, claws grazing asteroids, wings folding and unfolding with deadly grace. Lauren's mind raced. He needed a distraction. He activated the shuttle's decoy drones, small nimble units that emitted false energy signatures mimicking the hatchling. One by one the drones skittered into the field, drawing the alien's attention. The king lunged at the nearest decoy, striking it with claw and wing. The drone spiraled into an asteroid, destroyed, but the king paused, giving Lauren a precious few seconds. He slipped the shuttle deeper into the field, heart pounding. Then came the shocking discovery. The hatchling's scales flared violently, pulsing in rhythm with the alien ship's energy. Lauren froze, realizing the connection was psychic. The king wasn't just tracking them physically, it was sensing the hatchling itself, feeling its emotions, its fear, its trust. Every decision Lauren made influenced the predator's movements. "Okay, little one," he whispered, adjusting their course. "We can use this. We can trick it." He risked a glance at the hatchling. It seemed to understand, lifting a tiny wing as if ready to act. A pulse of energy shot from its scales toward a nearby asteroid, creating a momentary flare that masked their trail. Lauren seized the opportunity, veering sharply, narrowly missing a jagged rock. The alien king roared in frustration, sensing the deception, but it could not pinpoint them immediately. Lauren's heart pounded, adrenaline sharpening every sense. He realized that the hatchling's powers were growing. Its connection to its parent wasn't just dangerous, it was a tool. But the true shock came moments later. A holographic projection flickered across the shuttle's console, a star map pulsating with symbols he couldn't read. The hatchling chirped excitedly, wings fluttering. Lauren traced the map with his finger and saw a pattern, energy signatures scattered across the galaxy, all linked to this species. The hatchling wasn't alone, it was part of something vast, ancient, and powerful. "This isn't just a baby," Lauren muttered under his breath. "It's the key to something bigger." Fear and awe mixed in his chest. Protecting it wasn't about survival anymore, it was about understanding the role it played in the galaxy's balance. Before he could react further, the alien king struck again, diving from above. Lauren twisted the shuttle, dodging massive claws that scraped past, sending showers of sparks across the hull. The hatchling shrieked, sending another pulse of energy. This time, it hit the king's wing, creating a shockwave that threw it back slightly. Lauren's eyes widened. The hatchling could defend itself. He realized the stakes had changed. They weren't just running, they could fight back, subtly, intelligently, without confronting sheer strength directly. Lauren felt a surge of determination. He had faced impossible odds before, but never like this. Every choice, every maneuver mattered. One mistake and both would die, but one clever plan, and they might survive against the galaxy's deadliest predator. Suddenly, the shuttle's sensors beeped furiously. Another energy signature was approaching, faint but unmistakable. Lauren's pulse quickened. Something, or someone, was coming, drawn by the same signals that connected the hatchling and its father. He glanced at the hatchling, whose violet eyes shimmered nervously. The pulse of energy in its scales quickened as if sensing the new presence. Lauren realized with a jolt, the galaxy was watching them. Whatever this new entity was, it wasn't a simple observer. It was a player in a much larger game, one that he and the hatchling had just entered. He tightened his grip on the hatchling, speaking softly. "We survive together, whatever comes next." But even as he said it, the unknown ship materialized on the edge of the asteroid field, a silhouette massive and unfamiliar, humming with energy. Lauren's stomach dropped. The game had just escalated. The hatchling shrieked, wings flaring, scales pulsing brighter than ever. Lauren's mind raced for a plan. One wrong move now could mean death, but hesitation was not an option. He swallowed hard, determination hardening in his chest. As the unknown ship advanced, Lauren's heart pounded in rhythm with the hatchling's energy pulses. They were no longer just fleeing, they were about to discover the true danger that lay ahead, something far greater than a single dragon king. The void of space seemed suddenly alive, and the next moment would change everything. Lauren's shuttle jolted violently as the massive Dragon King's ship swooped closer, wings slicing through the void with terrifying precision. The hatchling shrieked, curling against his chest as claws grazed the shuttle's hull. Sparks flew, metal groaning under the pressure, and Lauren felt the full weight of the impossible odds stacked against him. He could not fight this creature with brute force. His mind raced, searching for a way to survive. He glanced at the hatchling, violet eyes shimmering with fear and something else, recognition. Lauren realized then that brute escape would not work. The king's intelligence surpassed anything he had imagined. It wasn't chasing blindly, it was evaluating them, reading every pulse of energy from the hatchling. Every decision he made would matter, and one wrong move could end them both. "Okay," he whispered, gripping the controls tighter. "We can't outrun it. We have to outthink it." The hatchling chirped softly, almost in agreement. Lauren's mind went over every maneuver he had seen in asteroid fields, every defensive tactic he had used in past fights. He couldn't win with weapons. He would have to use strategy and courage instead. He veered the shuttle into the asteroid cluster again, weaving through jagged rocks with razor precision. The king followed, massive claws scraping the stone, wings folding to slip through narrow gaps. Lauren's stomach tightened with fear. Every second felt like an eternity. He activated the shuttle's energy shields just enough to protect against grazing hits, but the shields flickered under the king's strikes. Then an idea struck him. The hatchling's scales pulsed violently, reacting to the Dragon King's energy signature. Lauren realized the creature could manipulate its own energy to confuse or repel the parent. He glanced down at the hatchling. "Can you do it? Now." The hatchling let out a sharp, melodic shriek, and a ripple of iridescent light shot from its scales. The energy collided with the king's hull, sending sparks scattering across the void. The king recoiled slightly, letting out a low, vibrating roar. Lauren's heart pounded. It had worked, just enough to gain a momentary advantage. He twisted the shuttle sharply, dodging between rocks, feeling a small surge of hope. The hatchling's pulse was erratic, and Lauren realized it was expending more energy than he had expected. He had to end this quickly. Out of the corner of his eye, he noticed another danger. A fleet of scavenger pirates had detected the energy surge. They were fast, armed, and merciless. If they reached them, survival was impossible. Lauren's stomach tightened. He had to act decisively. He toggled the shuttle's stealth mode and accelerated toward a narrow asteroid gorge, knowing only a precise path could keep them out of the pirates' crosshairs. The king dove after them, but Lauren used the hatchling's energy pulses strategically, creating illusions and masking their true path. The pirates fired, beams of plasma streaking through the void, but the pulses reflected or diverted their attacks just enough to keep the shuttle safe. Lauren's muscles burned as he executed every twist and turn, adrenaline sharpening every sense. Then came the highest emotional moment yet. The hatchling let out a long, mournful wail, wings flaring wildly. Lauren froze, realizing it wasn't just fear, it was anguish. The king had called to it, reaching across the psychic bond they shared. Lauren's heart clenched. He had to make a choice: run and risk losing the hatchling's trust forever, or confront the king and risk everything. He squared his jaw. "We do this together." He steered the shuttle straight into the open of the asteroid gorge, letting the hatchling's energy pulses guide their path. The king lunged again, massive claws slicing through the rocks. Lauren's shuttle scraped a boulder, sparks flying, but he held the hatchling close. The creature pulsed brighter than ever, sending a beam of blinding light toward the king. The alien paused, wings folding as if shocked by the hatchling's power. For a heartbeat, the void was silent. Then the king landed with a massive thud on a nearby asteroid, wings folded, eyes locked on Lauren and the hatchling. It was massive, terrifying, but Lauren saw something else: curiosity, respect, and maybe even hesitation. The king was evaluating him, assessing whether this human was worthy of the hatchling's protection. Lauren swallowed hard. He knew this was the moment that would decide everything. No blaster, no shields could win this fight. Only courage, intelligence, and the bond with the hatchling could carry them through. He spoke softly, almost to himself. "You see us now, we're not weak. We're together. And we won't let fear dictate us." The king tilted its massive head, eyes glowing. It growled low, scanning the hatchling and then Lauren. The vibrations rattled the shuttle, and Lauren gritted his teeth, heart hammering. It could destroy him with a single swipe, yet it hesitated. For the first time Lauren understood. The king respected bravery. It recognized determination. Before he could exhale, a sudden flash lit up the void. Another unknown energy signature appeared beyond the asteroid gorge, massive and alien. Lauren's stomach dropped. Whoever, or whatever, was arriving was bigger than the king itself, and it was closing in fast. The hatchling shrieked, pulsing violently, wings flaring. Lauren's mind raced. He had survived impossible odds so far, but the next moment would demand more courage, more cleverness than he had ever needed. The void seemed alive with tension. Lauren tightened his grip on the hatchling. "Hold on," he whispered. "This isn't over. Not by far." The alien presence loomed larger, blocking the stars, and he realized with a cold certainty, the true test of survival had just begun. Lauren's shuttle shuddered as the massive alien presence approached, dwarfing even the Dragon King in size. Its hull shimmered like a living nebula, pulsing with energy that made the cockpit lights flicker. The hatchling trembled in his arms, wings pressed tightly against its tiny body, but its violet eyes glimmered with determination. Lauren took a deep breath, letting courage anchor him. This was no longer just a chase or a fight. It was a test of human ingenuity, heart, and resilience. He scanned the controls quickly, calculating every maneuver. There was no way to outrun the enormous ship. It could follow their energy signature across light years. But he noticed something: patterns in the void. Tiny asteroid fragments, leftover debris, and gravitational anomalies created natural blind spots in energy detection. Lauren realized he could use the terrain to their advantage. "We'll fight smart," he whispered. "Not with strength but with wits." The hatchling chirped, wings flicking as if understanding his plan. The massive ship lunged forward, its shadow engulfing the shuttle. Lauren yanked the controls, weaving the shuttle in and out of debris, masking the hatchling's energy with precise pulses. The Dragon King followed closely, circling the shuttle protectively, but it hesitated this time as if aware of Lauren's clever maneuvers. Lauren's heart pounded. Every decision mattered. One slip and both the hatchling and he would be lost. A sudden vibration shook the shuttle, warning alarms blaring. The alien presence had deployed energy tendrils, sweeping through the asteroid field like giant fingers. Lauren gritted his teeth and pushed the shuttle to its limits, flipping, twisting, dodging. The hatchling flinched but did not panic. Lauren's calm steadiness seemed to anchor it. In that moment he realized something extraordinary. The hatchling's energy pulses could disrupt the alien tendrils. He took a gamble. Now, he whispered, pressing a control that amplified the hatchling's pulse. A blinding wave of iridescent light shot outward, colliding with the tendrils. Sparks and energy arcs erupted in the void, scattering the alien attack and creating a narrow escape path. Lauren's stomach tightened as he flew through, the hatchling glowing brighter with exertion. It was dangerous, exhausting, but it worked. The king watched, massive wings folding, eyes glowing. Lauren understood that the alien dragon respected courage and intelligence. He didn't just survive. He had proven himself in a way that brute force could never achieve. The king's growl shifted, softer now, almost contemplative. The hatchling chirped, responding to its father's presence, but did not flee. Lauren felt a surge of hope. Perhaps they could survive this together. But there was no time to rest. Another signal appeared on the sensors. Far larger, far older than the Dragon King. Lauren's pulse quickened. The galaxy was watching. Whoever, or whatever, had been drawn by the hatchling's energy was not here for negotiation. It was a predator, or worse, a ruler of cosmic power. Lauren's mind raced. He had faced impossible odds before, but this was different. This was beyond survival. It was a test of his courage, ingenuity, and empathy. He turned to the hatchling, speaking softly. "We've made it this far, but we have to trust each other. We can't panic now." The hatchling shivered but pulsed steadily, a heartbeat of courage in the dark void. Lauren's own fear transformed into determination. He realized that humans survived not by being the strongest, but by being clever, brave, and compassionate. Every choice mattered, every decision had weight. The massive alien ship loomed closer, but Lauren noticed subtle patterns, shifts in energy, pauses in movement, traces of hesitation. He seized the moment, weaving the shuttle through a narrow corridor of asteroids, the hatchling amplifying its pulses to mask their path. Sparks flew as the alien tendrils collided with rocks, ricocheting harmlessly. Lauren exhaled, feeling a small victory. They had survived another impossible challenge. The king landed on a nearby asteroid, massive wings folding, and emitted a low, resonant hum. Lauren held the hatchling closer, feeling its pulse steady. He realized something profound. The Dragon King respected him now. Not as a prey, not as a threat, but as an ally capable of protecting its offspring. It was a recognition of human courage, intelligence, and moral determination. For a moment, silence fell across the void. The hatchling nestled against Lauren's chest, wings relaxed, trusting him completely. Lauren allowed himself a small smile, a micro payoff for the long struggle. They had survived the impossible, earned the respect of a being that could destroy worlds, and strengthened a bond that transcended species. But just as he began to relax, a new alert flashed on the sensors. A distant energy wave, immense and pulsating, sweeping across the galaxy. Lauren's heart skipped a beat. This was no ordinary signal. It was ancient, vast, and alive. The Dragon King's wings twitched in response, and the hatchling pulsed violently, sensing the approaching presence. Lauren's stomach tightened. Whatever was coming was far greater than any single creature. They were about to enter a challenge that would test not only their courage, but their understanding of the galaxy itself. He glanced at the hatchling, violet eyes glowing, and whispered, "We'll face it together, whatever comes next." Its soft chirp was a promise, a heartbeat of determination that matched his own. Lauren realized that their journey was just beginning. They had survived the first trials, learned the meaning of courage and trust, and discovered that human intelligence and empathy could shine even against unimaginable odds. The void stretched before them, dark, infinite, alive with unknown dangers. The hatchling pulsed again, stronger this time, and Lauren knew that their bond, human and dragon, was their greatest strength. He gripped the controls tightly, eyes fixed ahead, heart pounding with anticipation and resolve. And somewhere in the shadow of distant stars, the ancient energy signature loomed, waiting. Lauren's mind raced with possibilities, with plans, with hope. He realized the galaxy held mysteries far greater than he had ever imagined. and that humans, even alone and small, could rise to meet them. The shuttle shuddered as the unknown presence drew nearer, the stars stretching into streaks of light, and Lauren felt the weight of destiny press against him. He wasn't just protecting a hatchling, he was stepping into a story that would shape the future of the galaxy itself. And with that, the pulse of the hatchling's scales flared brightly, signaling the beginning of a journey far beyond survival. A journey that would challenge everything Lauren knew about courage, loyalty, and the extraordinary power of the human heart.